Got another great episode that we're excited to bring to you. Today we are interviewing the mortgage ninja. The mortgage ninja. We've been trying, he's elusive. He's been hard to get because he is a ninja, but we got him. His actual name is Jason Brooks, and he's got a phenomenal story.
Yeah, I am really excited about this. Because I didn't know him very well, I reached out to his market leader and Daniel Kane just had nothing but good things to say about it. We'll talk more about that, but very excited about this interview.
So here we are with Jason Brooks.
Jason, welcome, man. It is so good to have you here today. How are you?
I'm doing good. I really appreciate you having me.
It is my honor. The cool thing about this is your name came to our attention, but neither Andy and I really have had the pleasure to know you. So we're only just learning the
Yeah.
Jason Brooks story now. And what's so fun about this, you guys, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening to this right now, is you're about to hear a very unique story. I think it's a very cool story. And I don't think you would be ashamed to say, I know you wouldn't, that the linchpin of this whole thing is recovery. Is that a fair assessment?
It's definitely a fair assessment.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How many years sober?
August 1st will be 5 years. Best 5 years of my life, too.
Buddy, I love to hear you say that. Well, congratulations on that. It's enormous. And we'll throw these in the show notes, but you should know about Unshaken, the Hope Dealer podcast. Like, be aware of that which Jason is doing. And you're going to learn that he is not only focused on recovery in terms of like substance abuse, but also connected to domestic violence. And with a local charity that he has been blessed to receive 3 $10,000 Graceworks grants for. Is that right?
Yep. Absolutely. The three consecutive.
That's so cool, dude.
I should have went to Vegas at that time.
I was gonna say, I feel like a three-peat in Graceworks is pretty special. So
Absolutely.
well done on the description, because that's usually what makes it happen, right? It's not
Yeah.
just the charity, it's the way you describe it, because you got to bring them in pretty quick. And now, of course, we're using AI to create those perfect descriptions. But congratulations. And I love your heart, man. I told you before we started recording, I reached out to Daniel Kane, and I just said, "Hey, man, tell me a little bit about Jason." And he said, "You know what, man? He is just one of the good guys in the world, and he's evidence that good guys don't always finish last. Sometimes they just rock." That's what he said about you. And when I pressed in a little further and said, "So, is it lead gen? Is it lead conversion? Is it social media?" He just emailed me back in capital letters and said, "Oh, social media exclamation points." So let's just frame up your volume a little bit so people know why I think this matters so much. You will have hit, your target is to have hit President's Club level by the end of this month. So that's the end of July, which will
Absolutely.
put you at 45 to 50 million for the year if you keep rolling the way you're rolling. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is the goal.
Yeah. So congratulations, dude. I
I
mean,
appreciate it.
yeah, that's great volume. And is that for people, Andy and I learn all the time as coaches, because things vary so much around the country, like
Yeah.
average loan amounts, is that 8 to 10 units a month ish?
It is. That's just about
Yeah.
right. Yeah. And for the longest time, I've been here just going into my 16th year, and I always hovered around the just barely making it. Like, there's so many times it come down to December, and
Yeah.
I'm squeaking through to make President's Club. So the last five
Yeah.
years has definitely turned it around for me, um, quite a bit.
Along with everything else in your life,
Absolutely.
right? Yeah. Well, buddy, here's what I know. Somebody's listening to this, somebody's watching this that either needs to hear this message firsthand today. Maybe they're struggling. Maybe they're day two of being sober.
Mhm.
Maybe they have a relative, someone that they love, someone that works for them. So I don't want to miss the call to action on that. Like, what would you suggest if somebody finds himself in that space right now and they're just not sure? Do I go to, AA? What do I do? Where would you point people?
Well, I would point to me first. Get in touch with me first. Actually, last year I wrote a book too called Universal Supports, and it
Love
has
that.
It's everything from people in domestic violence situations, struggling with mental health. I'm in a veteran area, so it's got veteran resources, gives them information about scholarships, how to identify if somebody's struggling with addiction, mental health, even how to revive somebody that's overdosed.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good place to begin. So, and they can find that book where?
Well, you can go to my website at weareunshaken.com.
So weareunshaken.com.
Yep.
Go check it out. Okay, so let's get back into the mortgage side of things. So, it's so interesting, man. Andy and I both had these experiences of seeing loan officers who had either a different life or another component of their life that kind of becomes their unique value proposition, right?
Yeah.
It could be anything. It could be somebody who had a design background, or they were a builder before, or they were a CPA, and that's where they double down with clients, is on the numbers side. You've got a really interesting niche. And so when I asked you about this before we started recording, you said, actually, it's people who are struggling. And I didn't understand what you meant by that. I thought you meant like bad loans with a bunch of
Yeah.
hair on them like that. But that's not
Yeah.
what you meant. What you meant is like humans that are struggling. Right. So can you explain that a little bit, both in terms of maybe the realtor partners, but also the borrowers?
Yeah, absolutely. So just about 5 years ago is when I came out of rehab, right? And what worked for me with my sobriety was helping others. That's what keeps me sober.
Love that.
So at first, I was very hesitant and very scared of what it would do to my business by sharing everything. And I've shared everything, from my rock bottom to where I'm at now. And I found that when people see that you've come from the absolute dark and found the light, people know that you're transparent, you're very open, you're very honest, they feel more comfortable reaching out to you. So I get a lot of calls, DMs, just lighted through Facebook Messenger, whether it's them, whether it's a relative. But in this industry, as you know, it's very fast paced, any sales industry. So, I went down the wrong path the year I started in the industry when I was 19 years old. And it just
Mm,
kind of just was like a constant roller coaster up until 5 years ago.
yeah. Yeah, man. Well, you have inadvertently, because this is the other thing you told me before this call. You said this wasn't the plan. Like,
Yeah,
this isn't what I saw, but it's what's evolved, right?
yeah,
It's what's developed. Yeah. So I'm hoping, Andy, I hope you see what I see. I just find so much encouragement with that. Like, as somebody's listening to this, so far, let's just call out two things. One, if you've got an issue, somebody that's got an issue, you've got an offer from Jason to connect, and he's got a book that can help you. Number two is, maybe that's not your world at all, but this might be a great time to just kind of look in the mirror and say, okay, maybe I've been playing loan officer on social media and my marketing and personal branding, and maybe I need to stop that. Maybe I just need to start being me.
yeah,
I don't know, Andy, how do you see that?
Yeah, I mean, with that too, I think it's identifying and understanding, hey, who are you, right? And what is it that's potentially holding you back? Is it
Mm,
a chemical, a substance abuse? Is it an anger issue? Is it, a myriad of those different things that are out there? What's holding you back, and identify that. And when you do, then reach out to Jason or to some of the other resources that are out there to help move past that, because we can never become the person we want to be until we understand the person we are,
yeah.
and then start to develop from there, right? I mean, that's one thing that I really heard clearly about Jason was this wasn't the vision of where I saw myself going, but it's where, and this is my words, this is where God's got me now, right?
Mm.
This is where he brought me to, and it wasn't the vision I had, but now I'm living into the vision he had.
absolutely.
Yeah, I would say the same thing about my career. It was 24 years ago when Daniel Harkavy of Building Champions said to me, and at the time I was a presenter, I was working for Todd Duncan, I was doing a lot of traveling, and I thought I had a pretty good life and trajectory in front of me. And he said, "Man, you'd make a great coach." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever," 23 years ago. And here I am, 40,000 hours later, like, thank God Daniel saw something in me and spoke it into me. It took a year for me to finally recognize it. But once you step into that identity, that unique ability that you have, it's magical. So, dude, let's talk about pragmatically now. You said you're getting DMs, you're getting Facebook Messenger messages. So I just want to maybe overcook this a little bit. Like, you've got a brand, and it's awesome, by the way. You guys all need to go check out the Mortgage Ninja. It's amazing. So go check out his social feeds, and you'll begin to see him talking about the business. There's some funny ones, cinnamon rolls. Come on, tell the cinnamon
Like that
rolls
one.
post.
It's cinnamon. Yeah, we try to mix it up. I try to have a good balance of things for recovery. Obviously mortgages. I also do not really a podcast. It looks like a snippet of a podcast. I do that weekly. It's called Ninja Knows. So I answer like, popular questions like what's the first step, getting qualified for mortgage, things like that.
So good. So good. Are you doing that at corporate, or where do you shoot that?
No, I shoot it right here
Okay.
yeah, I got a little turned empty office into a little podcast studio.
Nice, buddy.
Yeah,
So let that be an encouragement as well, you guys. It's not that difficult to put something together that looks completely legitimate. And I didn't mention you're in Pinehurst, North Carolina. So yes, I would like to visit you at some point,
absolutely.
like Masters Week, ideally. Just saying, because probably nobody else there. Um, yeah, man. So I don't know where I was going with all of that, but I think you've done such a great job. And you mentioned that it was a mix of content. So education, funny, and recovery. Are those kind of the three buckets?
Absolutely. That's correct. Yeah.
So think about that, you guys. If you're a loan officer right now and all you're doing, and we see this, Andy and I see this all the time, it's like being a praise and worship leader. You learn three chords, but you just play one. Like if you just play one chord, and you all know loan officers like this, and if I'm talking to you, I apologize for busting your chops. But if all you're doing is corporate reposts, right? People tune it out after a while. If all you do is funny, people are going to put you in that category, like, okay, he or she's funny, that's cool. And if all you do is education, they might get a little bored. So there's something about a media mix that really works out well, and it sounds like you're intuitively doing that really well. Or has somebody coached you on that?
No, so when I first started doing the video content, I had somebody helping me out. She was 22 years old. So she had me trying to do dances on TikTok, and that, it just wasn't me. So I tried to do
Good,
things
good
that
call.
were
Yeah.
definitely more me. Like, for instance, we just did one couple weeks ago, and it was talking about loan officers don't talk enough about flash two screens, going from approved
Mm,
eligible to refer with caution. I'll throw my hands up. And believe it or not, that's gotten 60,000 views on Instagram, which,
come
yeah,
on.
yeah. And it's still, I've gotten so many followers from that. Definitely trying to pick up my followers on Instagram. Hit 100,000 on TikTok.
Buddy,
Now just trying to get
without
Instagram
dancing.
going without dancing. There might be a
Very
little bit of dancing.
impressive.
I got to put my rhythm in there sometimes. So, but I did want to say though, it's not, we go back to recovery as far as like getting leads. It's not really just that. We talked about this a little earlier too. So when my last time I was in rehab, that's where I learned about a lot of woo-woo things, energy, manifestation, things like that. So one of the things that I do is I strategically align with real estate agents that are very like me. And I have a pretty good network. I mean, we're really close. Like we even tell each other we love each other. We're that close.
That's so cool.
So I reach out to them and say, hey, if you work, across from a listing agent or another buyer's agent that you think that I would really hit it off with, and I've picked up quite a few agents doing that too. So I mean, it's definitely a mix.
But I love that you're asking specifically, like, who do you know like me that you think we would get along that you could refer me to? Is that what I heard you say?
Correct, because in the past when I was I call them the bad times, the dark times, I would work with anybody and everybody, and I
Sure.
find now that it's all about energy. Like energy attracts like energy.
Yep.
So I don't care how much business a real estate agent does, they may not be a fit for me. I'd
Mm.
rather work with a lower producer that I absolutely love working with, love talking to. I recently went to her daughter's wedding in Florida, So we're just, a lot of me and my realtors are just really that close.
Yep. So, Andy, you and I hear this all the time, and Jason, you know this because you probably were this loan officer at some point. Um, People will often say, "Yeah, I really hate realtors," or "Realtors are disloyal," and I understand where that's coming from, but it's the opposite of what you just described.
Yeah.
Andy, isn't that what you hear him saying?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I would agree completely with that. And it's an embracing instead of yeah,
Yeah.
anything else.
So I mean, coachable moment here, you guys. Like as you hear Jason say that, I'm sure there are some of you right now, if you're only closing 2 units a month, you're like, well, yeah, that's all well and good for him because he's doing a bunch of volume. But remember, Jason made this decision at some point before he was doing that volume. And your world gets bigger, you guys. The more that you focus on doing business with the kind of people that you want to work with, honestly, it's the way that I'm selecting coaching clients right now. At this point in my career, I'm not coaching very many people, but the one that I'm coaching, I really enjoy. And so it makes it fun for me. I wouldn't be honest if I didn't tell you that 20 years ago I had people showing up on my calendar and I'd be like, oh, I know this is not going to be a fun call. I do, but I had to do it, right? That's how I was putting food on the table. So I love that you called that out, but I just think that's enormously important. The world is full of difficult people that don't see things the way that you do. And my experience is when it's a referral partner, it doesn't get any better in the middle of a real estate transaction. It gets amplified and it gets worse. Isn't that right, Jason?
Correct. And one thing that I take pride into is, a lot of real estate agents, you hear them when you're talking to them, they say, I give out 3 names. I can put anybody on the spot or anything like that, but my realtors only give my contact information just simply because we have that rapport, we have that relationship. We know if an issue arises that we're going to work together to come up with a solution. So yeah, that definitely helps.
So I'm glad you brought this up because I've been hearing this for the 40 years that I've been in
Yeah.
the real estate and mortgage business. Somewhere in licensing school, somebody says to a realtor, you should hand out 3 cards because you don't want to be accused of steering. That's not true. Like, it's not true. It's nonsense. So instead, if you listen to Jason and you say, you know what, I just need to do a better job of standing in my truth, if you will, my capability, my ability to help them. And I need to help my realtors understand who are friends now. I'm getting closer to them, that there's no benefit to them. There's certainly no benefit to the borrower. So I love that you're doing that, but I love that you're stepping into that. And it's just a falsehood that has been perpetuated as long as I've been in the business. And by the way, how long do you think Jason has been in the business? Go ahead, just come up with a number. Yeah. How long have you been in the business, bud?
32 years.
Okay, so here's the thing. I've been in the business 32 years and I look like this. Look at Jason. Take your
We
hat
talked
off.
about Asian don't raise them.
Take your hat off for a second. Look at this guy, you guys. Come on. Come on. Buddy, you've got some great genetics going there. Just hang on to those. All right, man. Last question for you, if I may. So you're sitting in a room with 100 LOs and they're doing 2 units a month and they're trying to figure it out. They've just heard you tell your story. What one or two very specific points of advice would you give to those LOs that are kind of just languishing?
Well, it goes back really to what we just talked about a second ago. Now, obviously, not everybody's going to have the same story or the same past as me, so that's not really realistic. But like I said, strategically align with people that are like you, are very
Yeah.
similar to you. Because my first 10 years in movement, it was just, like I said, work with anybody and everybody. And that was a mess. These last 5 years, I've really changed it around. And you would think if you're not out there beating the streets, making a million calls, real estate agents, your business would drop down. Mine have actually increased because, like I said, the agents I work with, pretty much send me all their business. So that, to me, that's the number one thing. And this industry can be very stressful. I've probably had 2 days in the last few years where I've really felt any anxiety. Which
Buddy.
before, if something bad happened, something good happened, I'd be at the bar next door. It'd be 11 o'clock in the morning. So strategically align with people that generally fill your cup. That would be my number one piece of advice.
I don't think you need a number two. I think that's all you need. That is so powerful. And I love that you called it out. Everybody that's listening or watching, I really want you to hear this and own it. That idea of you don't need a lot of people sending you a transaction every once in a while, because that's where the lack of loyalty comes from. There's a lack of connection, there's a lack of relationship. Jason is describing the opposite. He's got a relationship. He's telling people he loves them at the end of a call. You guys know what that, think about that, how often you do that with somebody that's not family. I do it quite a bit. Andy, I'm sure you do as well. And I love you, by the way. But you know what, guys? That's an aspirational goal, that if you can start working with people like that you have that kind of relationship with, and you get all their business, what's the thing that he said? I don't have to spend a lot of my time out there knocking on doors trying to create new relationships with realtors. Don't buy the lie. There's another way to build this business. I don't know, Andy, what final thoughts do you have here with
And I
our
agree, right? I
buddy?
think that's such an important thing. And I think the other thing to remember is if you don't find yourself in that situation right now, that's okay. You can change it.
Yeah,
You actually
for
have the
sure.
control over it. I was listening to another LO talking, and they're talking about how they found all their realtor partners and they went to, took them all out to lunch, individually, one at a time, took them out to lunch. And during that lunch conversation, they made a commitment to themselves. They were not going to talk about loans or real estate.
Hmm.
All they were going to talk about is personal things. And the ones that had a very uncomfortable conversation, they knew that wasn't the right place, the right person to develop a business around.
It's a
And
great
so
litmus test.
it was a
Yeah.
great way to do it. So remind yourself, you've got the ability, identify the ones that are like-minded, that you can go deeper with and develop these kind of relationships that Jason's been talking about. And if you don't find them, go meet somebody new. The
Yeah.
world is full of opportunities. Make sure you're taking advantage of it.
Yeah, for sure. So look, we wouldn't be an adequate internal coaching solution if we didn't say to you in this moment, if this resonates with you, if this struck a chord with you, and you feel like you'd like to go deeper and learn from Jason and build this for your business, reach out to us. Just hit us up, getcoaching@movement.com. We would be happy to schedule a discovery call with you. Let's have a conversation around this interview. And let's start to frame up a plan for you to be able this kind of build this kind of business. Because I just got off a call before this one that was a guy who had done, he just texted me, I don't want to misquote this. He is at 30 million for the year, 30 million for the year. But he said, I am telling you, coach, I don't want to today. I don't want to be in this business. It's like it's driving me. Jason, it's the moment that would have driven you to the bar, right?
Mhm.
And we have the pragmatic conversation around, okay, so where are your options to go earn 250 to $600,000 a year? Like, let's talk about your options and build a life worth living and have an impact. What are your options? So instead of being just perpetually stressed and all the negative things that can happen from that, what if you built a business on your terms like Jason has done, that is a life that you would enjoy living? We'd love to come alongside you and help you to build that. Jason, you're a stud. You truly are a mortgage ninja. Casey was right. And we are enormously grateful you made time to be with us today. I know you helped people today, and the ripple effect from this interview is going to continue. So thanks for being transparent, honest, standing tall in your recovery, and encouraging others. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm super grateful for you having me on here.
You bet, man. Well, we appreciate you, bud. All right, you guys, you know how to find us. Like us, subscribe. Incredibly, Andy would tell you we are now in multiple countries. I think we're in New Zealand, and I don't know, where else are we?
Super big in the Asian countries, believe
Asian
it or not. Yeah.
countries. Come
Yeah, we
on.
get followers in China and Vietnam. So we're growing.
Imagine that.
We're
Imagine
living
that.
Japan now.
Now Japan's on
Right?
the horizon. That's
Well,
our next,
yeah,
yeah.
this is going to expand our Japan market dramatically. So we appreciate that. Jason, appreciate you so much. And you guys, we can't wait. We'll see you next month.
See you guys. Wow, Bill, what a great story. I mean, I
Mm.
really love his heart. I really love where he's at. What an amazing guy and an amazing ability. And for those that are struggling with addiction, I know he talked about it, but I want to make sure we reiterate it. If you're struggling with addiction or you're trying to discover if you're struggling with addiction, reach out to Jason. He gave you that opportunity to reach out to him. We're also going to post the book and the website in the show notes so that you can grab that too, and you can just get the resources. So often when you find out that you've got a problem, the first thing you need to do is just grab onto a resource and you've got some here.
Yeah. So true, man. Yeah, this is a first for me. I've never heard anybody just kind of own that in full transparency and actually have it convert, because it's not like he did this intentionally, as he said, have it convert into a unique value proposition that actually generates business for him. Not all of his businesses, he points out. But the other thing, Andy, that really hit me is when he said, I just want to reaffirm this with everybody that just listened or watched this. He said, the agents I work with send me all their business. Nobody hands out 3 cards. It's a non-issue. It just, to me, is one of the most encouraging things I've ever heard, because Andy, you and I know as coaches, most LOs are really struggling with this idea of I need to be calling realtors all the time and try to find new referral partners. His approach is very different. So that idea of doubling down with relationships and people that you like and people that are like you, man, I just thought that was magical.
Yeah, absolutely. Life's too short not to do it, right? I mean, find
Totally.
people that you enjoy business with. One of the beautiful things about being a loan officer is you're an entrepreneur.
For
You
sure.
get to choose who you do business with, so choose wisely.
Amen to that. Well, it
Yeah.
was a good one, buddy. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
abs
Appreciate riding with you on this one.
absolutely. It's great to be a co-pilot along every time, Bill. The
Likewise, buddy.
Just as a reminder, everybody, make sure that you reach out, you like us, that you subscribe to our podcast, follow us, and hit us back if we can help out in any way. You can always catch Bill or I at getcoaching@movement.com. That number is, or that email address again is getcoaching@movement.com.
That's it, man. Anything we can ever do, feel free to just hop on our calendar and get a strategy call set up. We'd love to connect with you.
Sounds great. Until next time, everybody.